Welcome to Cleveland Smooth Jazz. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak.
Hello.
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 How are
My
you
name is
today?
Sophia. Good. I'm fine. Thank you very much. My name is Sophia Behalova. I'm calling in for the interview.
Yes, you are an author, correct?
Yes, exactly.
And the name of your book is?
#WUHAN.
Okay, and that's empowering poems and prose about feelings and such, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah, see, I have your book right in front of me. So, what led you to write this book?
What led me to write this book? I guess it was what was happening in early February. I have been watching news in 4 languages. And everything that was going on in China with the coronavirus, and I started to write as if I would be in Wuhan living through their lockdown.
All right, y'all, the show is live.
We got it.
Nice.
We're just discussing a little bit, Ryan. Thank you. So,
Thank you.
let's... It's okay. When we do things live, things come and go, right?
Exactly.
So we were right. You were doing this right when the coronavirus basically was at its infancy. We weren't seeing a lot here in the U.S., but obviously in places like Wuhan and other parts of China and rest of Europe, they were seeing it.
Exactly, so they were seeing it.
So we always need those uplifting things to distract us, especially when you're in the midst of the unknown.
Of course. That's as well the aiming of the book. It's basically there for people to help them to deal with their feelings that are invoked by the coronavirus. It deals with fear. It has prayers and stuff like that.
Yeah, we were seeing a lot. It was a lot of fear to begin with, and I mean, yes, it's a horrible virus. I won't say it was not, but we had a lot of fears going on with it, and the media was just adding to those fears.
Exactly. That was the main part, basically. The media was adding to the fears, and I was watching from very soon as well shows like Dr. Campbell, who is known now over the entire world, who has a very academic view on everything that was very nice in comparison to the normal newscasts that were all just tapping in the dark, basically, in that time.
Right. It was just... I actually shut off the TV. I was like, I'm not watching any more TV stuff because everything on the news was negative. And when you start looking at a lot of negative stuff, you start feeling negative. It's just how it is.
Yeah, writing is a way of getting that out of you, that negativity and everything, and especially if you aim to the reader so that they feel better and everything. So you basically make a little stretch there from your own fears to the fears of the reader to their comfort zone again.
Right. I mean, as an author myself, I tried not to stay in a negative mindset because if you're in that negative mindset, then you're writing negative stuff. Is anyone actually going to read stuff that's negative?
Exactly. So that's why it's empowering poems.
Yes, it is.
Do you want me to...
Poems as themselves are usually inspiring and uplifting. I mean, not all of them. I mean, we get some of them that are very downers, but most of the poems are uplifting, spiritual, and bring you up to a happy place again.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly where it's aiming to.
So are you working on anything else at this time?
I have, this is hashtag Wuhan 1. I have hashtag Wuhan 2 published as well at bit.ly Wuhan Poetry, all lowercase. And that's the part I was planning on a black part as well, dealing with death and everything, but it didn't get to it. We didn't have in Czech Republic the big numbers like they had in Italy or in Spain, so it never came to the black part, thank gosh.
Well, that's a good thing. We don't want those big numbers. We don't want...
Exactly.
It's a good thing when you don't have big numbers in death. That's a good thing.
Exactly. And I'm writing, I have a couple of projects going on. I do themed poetry, which is poetry, thoughts of a vampire. There is a vampire writing poems, basically. It's part of a sequel, which is coming out, I hope, in the end of this year or the beginning of next year. And that is as well a vampire poet that gets all poetic after he gets turned. And he is basically the one writing the poems for hundreds and years that he was living as one of those creatures, and they are looking for a remedy to not be vampires anymore. That's a little novella I'm writing. And I'm writing a calendar.
Interesting.
It is actually really fun to write as well, because I like themed poetry a lot, because it lets the writer really, and it's something that I can do really well, is to slip into somebody else's feelings and to slip into somebody else's thoughts, into another personality, and see it from their point of view.
Yeah, that's the best part of being a writer at all, is being able to go into a different point of view.
Yeah.
So you're working on the vampire one, so what's after the vampire one?
After the vampire, and while I'm working on the vampire one, I'm doing a National Days poems diary. That's how it is. It's the working title for now. Okay. A National Days poems diary. It has always, for each National Day, it has a poem. You know how it's Valentine's Day or Peanut Butter Day or something like that. So there's a poem with that theme, with that daily theme, and there's a question for the diary, which is usually pretty funny, pretty personal, and there's a page free for the reader to write their own diary.
That's cool, actually. I mean, we have here in the U.S., I don't know if they're national or international, but we have like Cake Day, or National Cake Day, National Hamburger Day, like just random things.
Exactly. I've actually slaughtered the National Day calendar, and I've picked the days that will fit to my audience, because the audience here are women. That is for the diary, and it's a perfect gift for a girl or for a young woman or an older woman to just write a diary in a different way. It's not easy to write a diary, and if you have a question each day, it might be easier. Right.
I mean, me and my friends were writing this diary journal between the three of us during the height of the pandemic. We're not finished with it. We have to clean some stuff up. But writing every day in it is tedious. I mean,
it is,
seriously, if you write a journal every day, it's tedious. It becomes part of your life, but at the same time, if you have a question, why are you writing it in the journal? Are you going to actually answer yourself later on? It's weird.
It definitely is. Yeah, when our family went into the lockdown, we were 4 people. One was 67 years old, one 66, and one 85, and me 25. And we were all isolating, and we were actually as well having a diary that I prepared, and everybody was supposed to write down their feelings and how they feel and how it goes and everything. So that was something really private we did with the family. Because I'm an author, they had really fun with it. They wrote some poems as well in Czech, and it was really funny. Nothing I will publish, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everything needs to be published.
No, some things are wrote for us, the author, and some of them are meant to be published.
Exactly. And you have books as well? Do you write poetry or?
I'm working on the poetry book myself.
Wow.
It's 18 years in the making, but it's all the poems I wrote as a teenager. And then I'm adding a few that I wrote within the last few months at the end. Just to have that contrast, because my writing skills as a teenager are not what they are as an adult, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
But it's what I was feeling in the moment of being a 17, 18-year-old teenager going through a lot of things at home. And that was my way of getting everything out. Well, now I'm ready to publish those poems.
Very nice. Very
but
interesting.
Normally I write fantasy. That's my wheelhouse. That's what I write. That's what I'm comfortable in. But I have wrote an autobiography type story that was just a year. And when I say a year, I started at the end of 2001, and I went through, actually it's a year and a half, but it goes to my daughter's birth in 2003.
Oh, very nice.
But there's a lot of things going on there that I wrote about that people will go, oh, you lived through that? Or it's just, it was a part of an anthology to see snippets in time, or I forget the actual, Stitch in Time, or I forget the name of the anthology, but all together I have 10 books out.
Oh, wow, very nice. Congratulations. I think it's as well very nice. We fantasy writers, I have as well. I have an autobiography written, but it's a sci-fi autobiography. So it's basically my life, but with fairy tales in it.
I think that is
written, and it's waiting for a publisher. Basically, I have to clean up some more passages that I wanted to do more visual.
Okay.
And then it's going to be ready for publish, and I'm going to be looking for a publisher for that. Yeah. And the fantasy, I like the fantasy aspect as well in poetry. I really liked it when I wrote the poems, Thoughts of a Vampire, Undead Poetry. Was something that I had fun with. That was really, really fun to be thinking, okay, if you're a vampire now and you're 500 years old, what would you be feeling? How about blood? How about craving love? How about craving personal contacts and everything? How do they deal with it if they just kill all the time? And something like that. It was very interesting to write that, yeah.
Exactly, because we don't see a lot of vampire books where the vampire's in love, or vampires craving love or craving things that they had in life that they can't have now because their entire day is to kill to save life.
Exactly. And mine are going to be a little bit different. I have figured out, at first I was like, how am I going to feed them? I wrote them, I was done with the first 3 chapters where they are all turning, and I'm like, how am I going to feed them if they are not supposed to kill anyone? So I had to figure out a way, and they are actually ordering some blood from the local butcher. and stuff like that. And they have one girl that actually kills, or in the beginning kills, and then turns to them and looks for the remedy as well. And the remedy is going to be actually a really cute one. I think it's going to be eating, daisies in the moonlight.
Aww.
It's going to be something cute. Yeah, it's more a fairy tale than something scary.
Well, okay, I love my fantasy books, but the fairy tale ones that are, you take the typical monster. Let's see, Hotel Transylvania. That's a favorite cartoon of my daughter's. So you have all the fairy tale monsters, but they're cute, they're fun, they're not the horror that we are used to in Bram Stoker's.
Exactly. It
gives us a different outlook.
Exactly. And you're right, there are not too many vampire books out that are really, there is how was that, The Vampire for Hire and stuff like that. I have a couple of audiobooks from that author. It is really funny, but it's sometimes it's a little wrong with I'm really into vampires actually, and I don't like if some authors write that they're crying tears because they cry blood. It's a big mess when they cry. And that was with The Vampire for Hire. I was like all the time, I'm like, oh my God, she starts crying again. It's going to be a mess. And no, she cried water. So, you know.
Yeah, it's every vampire book, every vampire movie is a little bit different. I mean, we have the Twilight series where they were glitter or shimmering or whatever. Who has a vampire that shimmers? But yet it works in the story.
It works in the story, that's true, yeah. Yeah. Would you like me to read out of my book? Maybe a poem or two?
Yeah,
okay,
please.
Let me find one. I've got here Worldwide Corona. Worldwide Corona. Corona, you're strong. Person after person, be strong. An unknown substance with a crown is lethal. It's a bit of a surprise for us all. Worldwide danger. Corona, you're wrong. People, we have to unite and be strong. Corona, unknown substance. You can't have us all. It's like meeting a stranger. Corona is very strong. Let's pray to God for a chance. Humanity must be well. Corona deadening. One can see ya. Corona, you're not acceptable. Corona, be ready. We are strong. Killing us all would be wrong. Humanity needs to survive well. We have greater mission. Corona, we promise we won't have ya. Corona, you're in invisible danger. Corona, vaccines and all will be stronger. Oh God, let's get together and pray for a chance. Corona, you're not getting us. That's all. We all unite and fight ya. By Sophia Behalova.
That's very beautiful.
That would be one. That was a prose one, and I have here a poem that actually rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
That's darkness. What excuses the darkness of the time specs? When 2 weeks long, your voice in your head says, coronavirus, you're lethal. In slight distress, alone I stand, heart filled with people crying from far away. Everybody see the pain? Somewhere far away are people dying. By Sophia Behalova.
See, very short, very to the point, but it evokes emotion. That's what a poem's supposed to do.
Yes. They are shorter. They all fit on one page. It's basically, I have been doing a little bit of research, and a lot of poetry, the chapbooks and everything, they actually do want to have poems on one side, and they are really small, the books. They are 5 by 8 or something. So I'm kind of getting used to writing poems in that length and not longer.
Well, there you go. I mean...
Yeah.
My poems as a teen they're either short or they're long. There's no in between. It's just they're all over the place. But I'm not a poetry writer. That's not my natural state.
Mhm.
But I'm enjoying the ones that I'm writing now.
You're enjoying to play with words.
Yeah, just to get outside my normal, because I'm doing a lot of fictional writing. So as a creative writing, to get my brain and mindset to something else, write a poem, or invoke emotions in a different way than what I'm writing about.
Exactly. And a good thing is as well to kind of maybe find a way of connecting your fantasy topics and themes with your poems and make then a sequel out of it and have somebody poetic in there and write them basically in your name.
That's true. I never thought about that.
That's what I did with the vampires. I'm going to do that as well with New York. I have a poem, New York City Lights. I'm planning to write something about New York. The typical things, rain and cap and people and parties and that they never go to sleep, that they're always up, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. New York never sleeps. L.A. never sleeps. Las Vegas never sleeps.
Exactly.
I mean, we do have a few cities that, seriously, they're known for their nightlife, not for their daytime.
Exactly. During the daytime, you find only the ones that are still kind of drunk and woke up at the pool, right?
Right. That's what we're normally seeing on TV, is the ones that are on the beach sleeping off the night before so they can get up later in the day and go back out to the nightlife.
Exactly. I used to live in Miami Beach, so I know pretty well how that looks like.
I'm just guessing. I'm going off what I see on TV. I mean, I've lived in Ohio my entire life. The only exception was going out to, like, Las Vegas a few times, going out to L.A. Those were fun trips, but at the same time, I'm in a different world because I'm a day person, not a night person. But everything opens at night.
I'm kind of both. I need to have a mix of both. I need to have my daytime, and I really have clearly some nights when I get the muse, I write through the night, into the morning, to the next day, to the next night, and so on. I mean, I'm known for that. I write my 15,000 words in 2 days or something like that.
No. If I'm writing, that's a different beast altogether. Because if I'm in the zone of writing and I have everything off except my writing, I will be up 36 hours.
Right? It's fun, no?
Yes. I mean, I will lose track of time. I will lose track of everything. I have friends, hey, babe, did you eat today? Please tell me you remember to eat. I don't know. What day am I in?
I have as well Facebook friends that ask me actually every morning if I already ate something.
Oh, my friends, my assistants, everyone. The first question out of their mouth is, have you ate? Did you have your coffee? What are you working on? Because that'll tell them, well, if I'm writing today, okay, so I'm going to have to come on in a few hours to remind you to go eat something.
Exactly. And how do you do it? I find myself very often when I have a new idea that I want to write, I present it to a crowd of people, some friends that I trust, and I test it on them, how they react, if they will smile, if it will be interesting for them, and then I start writing an outline.
No. See, me, if I have an idea, it's going on paper right then and there as I have the idea. It doesn't matter if I have to talk to the computer and talk it out. It's going on paper. And then when I'm my normal books are 40-some chapters long. So when I get about 15 to 20 chapters, then I'll say, okay, I need a beta read just to tell me how you like this. Do you like it? Is it something to finish pursuing? Do I not? Do I need to change things? Don't tell me about grammar. Don't tell me about spelling. Don't tell me about, hey, you need to add this here. I just want to know your thoughts.
Mhm. Yeah,
and then I'll get feedback, and then I might put it on the shelf for a little bit because I have 3 works in progress right now that should have been done last year. Well, life happens, so it didn't get done. But
I mean, we have a lot of projects going on that are sometimes sometimes you need to reformat as well your hard drive.
Yeah,
I have that. After every book, I need to format, and I basically barely know anything of it for a moment, and then it all comes back. But when when the editing is done, I write. That's fine, but the editing is the worst, I think.
Oh, I hate editing.
Right.
I hate it.
I actually read backwards then. I read every sentence backwards. That's what somebody told me, to get the wrong grammar or just something that sounds funny when you read the book backwards. Then you look at every sentence at its own, basically. Right. And that's how I do it. And I do the audiobooks. That's what I do when I have my script done and it's edited and almost edited. I get on the computer and I record the audiobook. And while I record the audiobook, I already know where are problems, and I can go right into there and fix them. Oh,
yes. I had my first experience with audio doing a children's book. It's a little novella. And I was like, oh, I need to fix this in the book. I need to fix this. How did I miss this? And I was going back through fixing things that I didn't see as a problem until I did the audio.
Exactly. Reading out loud is very important.
Very
I have
true.
As well, when I have written a piece, I write maybe a day or 2, and then I put my writing onto my read engine. It reads to me loud what I wrote, and that's where I already catch a lot of things that need to be changed when it's read out loud to me. When I lay down in bed then and just listen to it, fall asleep to it, and then there are some thoughts. This is really good. This is not that good, and
Yeah, this needs to be changed. We can tweak this. We can add some description here. And this is a life of an author, seriously.
It is. And then the marketing, right? We all have this Twitter accounts with those 20 to 80,000 followers. At least I'm working on mine. I'm working on mine, and I'm getting a lot of sales over that.
Yeah. Let's see. Instagram's a good one. That one I'm at 25,000 followers right now. So
very nice.
Yes. So we're building
very
that
nice.
up. But at the same time, we're almost out of time, and this is really fun talking with you. So where can the listeners find you?
Listeners can find me basically on my Amazon, which is the Amazon link I changed to bit.ly/WUHAN Poetry, all lowercase. That's where my books can be found, and as well a little bit about me, about the author and stuff. So that goes right to my Author Central page with my books. And I have a Facebook account, facebook.com/bunnybuttons, if somebody wants to talk to me. And Twitter account is Sophistication with an OU.
Okay. That's a lot of information there, but thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. That was really nice. I was quite nervous.
Oh, never be nervous with me. I will talk about anything under the sun. As an author, I understand.
Awesome.
Trust me. So for all of our listeners out there, happy reading, and pick up a book of poetry. You might find an emotion or two that we need right now.
Okay, good. And can I call again when I have something new going on again?
Just contact the email that you booked on the show, and we'll be happy to have you back on the show.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
And have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, listeners.
Bye.